Hey, everybody, Rory McDonald from Macdon and Associates. Really excited for you to be tuned in today's episode of Tuesdays with Rory. And on today's episode, we're going to be covering the entire start to finish process of purchasing a home. All right, so the very first step when it comes to purchasing a home, and most real estate agents would require this when it comes to you actually going out and looking at houses, is a pre-approval. It's the financial side behind purchasing a house. Pre-approval, it involves you talking to a lender, them running kind of your finances, looking at bank accounts, knowing what your financial situation is as far as income and job status, so that they have a good picture that you're going to be able to pay back the type of loan that you're taking out on this particular house. Now, most real estate agents, like I said, won't even take you out to go look at houses prior to you having a pre-approval. And most people take this as a negative, like, well, why not? I can still go look at the houses. I can look at them online. I can go to um, open houses and things like that, and you absolutely can. There's no negative to doing those things. However, one of the big things that I always say to people, and reason why I always suggest get a pre-approval prior to you actually going out and looking at houses, is because your financial situation is very, very important. Not just to the bank, but also to me and you when it comes to buying. And the reason behind this is because we, as real estate agents here at Macdon Associates, don't ever want to put you as the buyer in a position where you're calling us 3 months after you've purchased the house and going, "Hey, I can't afford this. I can't do this anymore. I need to get out of this house, or I need to find another job in order for me to continue living here. I need to get out of this house." That's a big fear that we have. We know that there's people out there who have children who have saved a lot of money in order to get in these particular houses. And oftentimes, when they're in that position that they're selling the home soon after buying it, they're in a bad financial situation, which could have very much so been avoided should they have talked to a good quality real estate agent, and more importantly, a good quality lender when it comes to making sure that their financial situation long term in that house is one that actually makes sense for them. So, step number one is the financial side of things, and that is getting a pre-approval to know how much you are able to purchase as far as the pricing goes. Step number two, and this is the part that all of you out there, I'm sure, are already doing, and that is the home search, looking for houses. There's a lot of sites that you can go to. Realtor.com is one of them. Homes.com is another. Zillow is another really amazing site that you can use. And a lot of real estate agents have differing opinions when it comes to using these different sites. A lot of them want you to use your MLS or their MLS, their search, rather than using those other sites. And there's nothing wrong with that. That you can absolutely listen to them and do that. However, those sites are good. They're good quality. Zillow is a great site when it comes to looking for houses. Realtor.com, great site when it comes to looking for houses. Homes.com, same deal. Really awesome site when it comes to looking for homes. However, we as real estate agents will oftentimes see homes that come on the market prior to them going to Zillow, before they go to realtor.com, before they go to homes.com. And that is through the MLS, or the multiple listing service. What that is homes that come on the market and go to Zillow. 9 times out of 10, they're going through our system before they ever make their way over to Zillow. So I usually explain this to people in a way like, this is the catch-all. This is the knowing exactly what it is that you need and setting a search up for you, so that if you're missing some of those homes on Zillow or Realtor.com or Homes or whatever it is, you're not going to miss the houses that came on the market, because you're seeing them. You're seeing a list of all the houses that came on the past 24 hours is how I set it up. That way you're not missing anything. You're not, laying in bed and going, "Oh man, I'm just not seeing any new houses that came on the market." Boom, email comes over the next day after you've slept, and you wake up in the morning and there's 10 houses that have come on the market in the last 24 hours that really match what it is that you're looking for. And speaking of what it is that you're looking for, knowing your wants and needs in a home is incredibly important. So share that with us over here at Macdon Associates or your real estate agent, and explain to them, "Look, I absolutely need 4 bedrooms. I have several children. I need 4 bedrooms." Or, "Hey, I absolutely, without a doubt, need a basement. I need that additional space for storage or living space. I want a finished basement or a garage or acreage," or whatever it might be. We can really tailor our searches around you specifically and what it is that you're looking for, all the way down to the school district. So that's your kind of second step, is actually getting out there, doing home searches, not necessarily going in the houses yet, but doing the home searches so that we actually can find the houses. Once that happens, now we're going out and we're previewing those homes, not just online, but we're looking at them in showings in order for you to see the house in person. The photos don't always match what it is that you see when you walk in, and that goes both ways. A lot of times people will take really, really big pictures, nice pictures of the houses, but they stretch the photos out in order to make the living room seem bigger than it actually is. And then on the contrary, other times people walk through with their cell phone. I hate that this is the case, but it still does happen sometimes that people go into a house and they take pictures with their cell phone, and it just doesn't match the quality a lot of times of what that house actually is. Like they've got, the lights aren't on in the house, so you can't really see everything because it's too dark. Or, you look in the corner and the way that the picture was set up, maybe the realtor's finger was in front of the camera, so you can't see the floor all that well, or the backyard all that well, because the type of photo that was taken on the phone just isn't as good as somebody took a professional photo of the house. So getting into the house is taking a look at them, and then once we actually find a home that matches your family's needs, you've walked through it, you know that this is the one, we move on to the next step. The third step when it comes to finding you a house is getting you under contract. A lot of agents use the term pending. If you're looking online, you might see pending or accepting backup offers. That means that the house that you're looking at online already has a purchaser matched up with it, and both the purchaser and the seller have agreed to terms and are moving forward with that purchase. There's one other group of homes that people don't often talk about or really show, and that is contingent. Contingent homes are usually one of two things: contingent on the inspection, or contingent upon some of the things that were in that contract that the buyer wants to have done prior to them moving forward, or in most cases, contingent upon the sale of another home. Now, a lot of you out there that might be listening to this, maybe you've seen my other video that is second time home buyers. You might know this already, but contingent accepted offers are ones that I've accepted this offer and I'm moving forward. However, this purchaser, in order for them to buy this house, they have to sell their current home in order to move forward. That is a contingent offer. Now, with those contingent offers, you as a buyer who might not need to sell another home in order to purchase this one, you can come in and you can either do one of two things: go in and actually take over the contract of that home because maybe that buyer can't buy that house without selling their home, or you're able to speed up the process for them in order for them to be in a spot where now it is contingent. They need to buy this thing without selling their current home and moving forward that way. But once we have an offer accepted, kind of the process that exists with that is, in order for you to get under contract, there's really 5 things that actually need to happen once you are under contract. First and foremost is writing an offer. And physically, it has to be on paper. It can't be in writing here in the state of Michigan, or excuse me, in verbal here in the state of Michigan. It has to be written down, and it has to be signed by all parties in order for everybody to move forward. So the first step, writing an offer. Typically, we send that to you via email for you to sign electronically. And then once you've signed, and during that process of you writing the offer, we're negotiating on the terms of that offer. Negotiating on things not just about the price of that home, but how long the inspection period is going to be, what type of inspections you're going to have during the time that you're moving forward, any other contingencies that exist in it, like you having, getting concessions on the house, meaning the seller is going to pay for a portion of your closing costs. You going in, the seller fixing some of the municipality guidelines and things that need to be fixed within the home according to the municipality or the city is going to be taken care of during the time that you are under contract with that seller. So once you have that done, we then are kind of jumping through the hoops of going through things like getting insurance quotes for you, which we use a company over here in Clinton Township. They do all of Michigan, called Royal Oath Insurance Group. They do a really good job of shopping your insurance quote and finding you a good quality insurance to go along with that house. So we quote you out on things like that. You can go get other quotes as well. You're not required to use Royal Oath, but we get you a quote there. And really nailing everything down and getting you in a position where hey, I can afford this house first and foremost because I've gone through the financial process. I'm comfortable moving forward because I've written the offer and we've negotiated and gone back and forth with the seller. We're good moving forward. I know the steps. I know how long my inspection period is going to be. I know when my closing date is going to be. I know what the seller might be contributing to my closing costs already. I'm good. I'm ready to move forward. That kind of is the end of step 3. Going into the next step, which is step 4 of the process, is the due diligence period. Due diligence is mostly regarding the inspection, but there's other pieces that exist in this too. So, first and foremost, just touching on that, inspections. You might have 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 4 days, whatever it might be. That's all negotiable. Time for you to get your inspections done. Within that inspection process, you're going to get a general inspection done. A general inspection is an inspection of the house. You can have anybody do it. You can have your uncle who's a builder come out and he can do the inspection. You can hire a professional inspection company that exists here in Metro Detroit to come out and do that inspection as well. They go through the house. They look at things like the roof, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical system, all the mechanicals that exist inside the house, like the HVAC system, the hot water tank, a boiler system if we're working with a boiler, and they really nail down and go, okay, is everything working properly? Is everything working within this house? And if it's not, then we negotiate and resolve any issues that might exist that came up during that inspection in the form of the seller having things fixed, you negotiating the price down to take care of that HVAC system we did not know needed to be replaced immediately when it came to you buying the house. And then post that taking place, you can also get things like another inspector to come through, like a structural engineer or a foundational guy to come in and look at, if there's an issue, if the general inspector points something out that there's a problem with the boiler system. We had a house recently that our client, the inspector looked at it and he said, "Hey, this is a boiler system. I can give you the general of what it is that's going on with this, but I would suggest that you have a professional boiler guy come out and take a look at the system, because there's just little nuances and things that he will know more of, more than I will." And we're glad that we did that, because during the time of that inspection, we realized, oh my gosh, this boiler is a $10,000 to $12,000 boiler, and it actually needs to be replaced as soon as possible because it's just not safe as it sits right now. And so they had a boiler guy come out, look at it, and we determined that, hey, this needs to be completely replaced. And it was not something that my buyers wanted to take on. So they actually backed out of that contract with any real repercussions outside of the cost of that inspection and having the HVAC guy come out and look at the boiler system. So super important that you're going through that portion of the due diligence. After that takes place, the lender then kind of takes over and they order what's called an appraisal. An appraisal is purchased by you, the purchaser, not by anybody else. And so you, as the purchaser of that appraisal, have the right to review it and look at it. Not anybody else, including me, the real estate agent. I did not buy that. That is yours. It is not the sellers. It is not the listing agents. It's not even your real estate agents or the inspector. It is 100% yours to keep, review, share with whoever it is that you so please, and then continue moving forward with it. And after that happens, we finalize things revolving around the house, specifically the insurance. So finalizing thing and having a closing date on your insurance. And then that kind of wraps up the due diligence period when it comes to buying a house. Once that is complete, that wraps up the step 4 of everything being done and takes us into step 5. Step 5, when it comes to purchasing a home, is knowing when your closing is going to take place. It's the lender taking everything through underwriting and giving you what's called a CTC, or a clear to close. The clear to close is you going and the lender saying, "Hey, we're good on this. Everybody's good on this. We know when your insurance is going to begin and when you're going to close on this house, how long your terms are when it comes to you paying back this mortgage." And you take over then and move forward with the closing of the house. So you come with your closing documents, you close on the house, you bring whatever it is that the lender says, "Hey, you need to bring these X amount of funds when it comes to you closing," and that can either be brought in a check or be done via wire through your bank. And at that point, we show up to the closing. You show up to the closing, you sign the paperwork, and you sign the deed. And now then you have the ability to move forward with the house. It's yours now, and it's your home. You get to move in. You get to start moving things into the house and moving forward in that way. So just to lay all this out for you guys, the 5 steps that I just went over. The first one, it's super important, is nailing down your finances, and that is getting a pre-approval from a lender. Step 2, starting the home search online, looking at those houses on Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, as well as the MLS, us sending houses over to you through your real estate agent here at Macdon Associates. Step 3, getting you under contract, coming to terms with the seller and you, and knowing everybody's happy, everybody wants to move forward, your offer is accepted, and then you move into due diligence, which is your inspections and your appraisal. After that is complete, we go into the clear to close, where you get your keys. The most exciting part for us as real estate agents is seeing families move into homes. For some cases, the very first time buying a house. So that is the entire process when it comes to purchasing a house. If you have any questions regarding this, feel free to reach out to us over at Macdon Associates. Happy to explain to you any of the intricacies or pieces that exist within this, just to go a little bit more in depth with you. But that is the process for those of you out there who are looking at potentially purchasing a house. That is everything involved in purchasing a home.